Dude, John goes out to his car for something. It was the little car. I believe it was a Subaru, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a little Subaru. He wasn't into station wagon mode then yet. That was still the realm of Bill Mazza. Bill was the king of the station wagon at the time. John eventually took that position after Bill passed over. So here comes John back up the driveway. He's coming around the corner of my truck. And as he comes around the corner of my truck, the little window on the back of the camper shell, the angle of the driveway, it didn't go up very high. And so it was just out of his sight, but right in the middle of his forehead. As he comes around the corner, I'm on the other side of the truck and I hear this thud. I look around the side of the truck and there's John down on one knee, blood starting to stream down his face. I leap into action. I pick him up, I set him on the tailgate, I dig through my truck, I find my hidden ice chest with beer. I immediately get a beer out, look at him, look at the beer, I drink the beer. I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This can needs to conform to his head. And if I don't get the beer out of it, it'll be a hard thing. You know? So, the only problem with that was, the can got warm really fast, so I had to do it 3 times. Now, John's sitting on the tailgate of my truck. His eyes are rolling around in his little head. I got a beer hanging on his forehead taped on. He's sitting there. I look at him and I go, John, how many fingers do I have? He answers correctly. I'm happy. But I look at him, he's still a little bit dazed here. He's still just a little off. And so I think to myself, what can I do that I know he'll understand, but maybe it'll be a little tough for him. So I say, John, recite the 10 Commandments. Next thing I know, grumpy dog, sneezing. I go, John, just stay on the table. Okay? Don't move. You're fine right there. Everybody knows how devoted John is to his job and what lengths he will go to make his contractors happy. This is where the station wagon comes in. Back in those days, when he got the station wagon, Home Depot in Southern California already had people in the parking lot. We didn't have them up here yet. John would make trips to Southern California. He could get 15, 16 people in that car. The labor force just wasn't good enough up here yet. And then he would bring them back, In fact, wasn't the record 21? Huh? Great. Okay.
20.
Now I know that everyone in here, black, white, Jew, Gentile, is thinking the same thing as me. How did he get this job? Really? Okay, now I'm going to change gears because Ravinius says 5 minutes or you get the cattle prod. So I'm thinking, okay, what do I got to do? He's actually sent me emails. Said, Craig, you're not off that stage in 5 minutes. So I'm going to change gears here and go to the I like John. I'm not going to make fun of him anymore. I know. My father was the only mentor I ever had through the first half of my life. And until I met John. John has guided me through the second half of my life very well. He's had some pretty good challenges too. I don't have a gallbladder. I don't have a spleen. I don't have appendix. I've had cancer. I got no prostate. And through all that, John, with his spirituality, he would visit me in the hospital. He would come to my house if he couldn't get to the hospital. He's been a special person, and He didn't know it, but for a long time, he was my mentor and he just didn't know. So, about 5 years ago, I finally fessed up and said, we went to lunch one day and I said, John, you know, you're my mentor. You've done all these things for me. You've kept me in line. You've helped me. And fortunately, he said yes, which I was pretty excited about at the time. Always a good listener, offering great advice. I know I don't appear to be the dominant conversationalist who would have a lot of questions of luck. But I tried to say that with a straight face, but I just couldn't. So, John was the one who actually steered me to Rick and Bugler. And I just celebrated my 10th year at Bugler a few months ago. And I thank John and Rick for that opportunity. I enjoy my job. Every day I go to work. It's a great thing. I could go on, but I think I just heard a crackling noise behind me. And so I'll just stop by thanking John for making me a better person, and I thank you tremendously. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. As I said earlier, John's been noted for many quotes. One of his more recent quotes was, "I was always taught to respect my elders, but it keeps getting harder to find them." John was a priest. He had the opportunity to work with young people. He was teaching in art class one day, and he walked up to a 6-year-old and asked her what she was drawing. She said, "I'm drawing a picture of God." John, in his usual style, gently said, "Well, Sally, no one knows what God looks like." Sally said, "They will when I'm done with this." Our final speaker tonight is Mike Wynn. Mike is a former chairman of this BIA, currently serves as chairman, president, and CEO of the California BIA. Mike is actually working on a book about his experiences at CBI. The title is, "Where Are We Going and Why Am I in This Hand Desk?"
Thank you, Robert, for that kind. No. And I knew Craig would be a tough act to follow, so bear with me. It's really wonderful to hear the words of praise, the personal recollections that everyone's offered about the career of John Orr, his considerate nature, his selfless attitude, his genuine compassion for the misfortune of others. And having known John since 1986 when he was hired by the North State, I guess we were Superior BIA.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Oh, what a weird name. I've certainly seen that side of John's personality. But I've seen the other side, what some refer to as John's evil twin. Oh yes. I think I noticed it first in early '08 when I approached John for advice after deciding to open my own company. He leaned in, as he does, carefully and asked, "Mike, did you have an extra bottle of stupid this morning?" There was another time, I was troubled seeking John's priestly counsel on a health problem, and he solemnly asked, "You not yourself, aren't you, today?" I noticed the improvement right away. That Bayonne, New Jersey wise guy, still creeps out every now and then. Seriously, John's integrity and his credibility have served our 67-year-old association particularly well. His monthly traffic, sales, and permit reports that you've all come to know and love have been a standard for accurate data throughout metropolitan Sacramento. That's why it bothered me a little bit one night when, as he sipped on an expensive glass of Merlot, he sarcastically chipped to me, "Dude, 35% of all statistics are made up." When I finally, after clawing my way to become chairman of the board, he offered me two venerable bits of advice. And you know, he's offered these same two sage tidbits for every incoming chair during his tenure. The first one, before you open your mouth to speak, make sure it's an improvement upon the silence. And then secondly, if you can't be a good example, Mike, just be a horrible warning. I'd just like to say, John, on behalf of all of your previous past chairmen, that we cherish your wise counsel. As a long-lapsed Catholic, I'll confess to that. I occasionally debated John over things like the theory of evolution. I joke that God made man before woman to give him plenty of time to get ready for her first question. John, however, as a theologian and a true ladies' man, right, Shane? Okay. He suggested, perhaps I was mistaken. God created man before woman, he suggested, because there's always a rough draft.